In Ryosuke Hamaguchi's 2021 film Drive My Car, theatre director Yusuke Kafuku and his assigned driver Misaki Watari spend much of the film's 3-hour-long running time in Kafuku's vintage red Saab 900 or engaging in long conversations, or both. As a film that rejects the flashback, it places us in a constant present, engaging with the characters' emotional journeys, which are constantly moving forward. This is symbolized by the act of driving. The car therefore becomes a vehicle of emotional mobility. The film's main story begins after a 40-minute prologue with Kafuku arriving in Hiroshima to direct a production of Anton Chekhov's Uncle Vanya for a local theatre festival.
ドライバー、彼女です。
渡美咲です。
The pair begin their relationship with Kafuku in the backseat, in a position of power, gazing at Misaki in the driver's seat. However, it is in this position they inhabit in the car in which their bond begins to form, firstly through the veil of Chekhov, through the act of reciting the dialogue of Vanya.
いいですね。
黙るもんか。お前のせいで僕は自分の人生の花の歳月を無駄にし、台無しにしてしまった。
Kafuku is discreetly sharing his innermost thoughts with Misaki. As he says later in the film,
チーホフは恐ろしい。彼のテキストを口にすると自分自身が引きずり出される。
by having both characters facing forward, the car is a unique space that allows individuals to be physically together, but not suffocated by the intimidation of facing one another. Characters can drift in and out of the conversation. Their thoughts can wander. They can gaze out the window. The infrastructure of the car is a filmmaking tool that affords characters a unique environment for unloading their emotions.
誰にも僕の気持ちはわからない。夜も眠れない。悔しさと怒りで。
Hamaguchi configures, frames, and shapes the car so that it becomes a space for private conversations.
誘っていただいてありがとうございました。
誘ってくれたのはユンスさんだ。
Private confessions.
なぜ助けを呼ばなかったのか、助けに行かなかったのか、わかりません。
And private confrontations.
元は別の男と寝ていた。それも一人じゃない。
証拠はあるんですか？
Takatsuki is a young actor with whom Kafuku's wife cheated on him with.
奥様にはいつもお世話になっています。
奥様はやめて。
画面では何度も拝見してます。
With the two facing each other. It is in this scene in which Hamaguchi frames the car as a confession booth and a battleground for confrontation.
僕がお父さんから聞いた話をしてもいいですか？
Misaki essentially plays the role of the audience, bearing witness to the unraveling conversation. After this scene, Kafuku enters through the passenger door and joins Misaki in the front. On their climactic drive to Misaki's hometown in Hokkaido, the pair finally inhabit the car as friends and equals. It is through the car that they learn how to confront their past, forgive themselves, and forge a better future.
Hey, Emily.
The prodigal son returns. Never thought I'd see you again. Come on, get in the car. I'm gonna be late.
I'm really grateful to you for driving me around this weekend.
That's all right. Such a nice coincidence that we're both going to the same conference.
Yeah, I know, right? After so many years, who would have thought? I still want to repay you in some way, though. So maybe we can get food in the afternoon?
I'll have to see. We'll both be exhausted. How did you find your first night in Sydney? I'm sorry I couldn't meet you yesterday.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't really get up to much, just walked around the harbour. You know, for all the deprecation we gave it back in the day, Sydney's not too bad.
Yeah, we were quite hard on Sydney back then. But it wasn't like we had much to be proud of. At least there are things to do here after 5.
So do you speak to anyone from Canberra still?
Oh, look, here and there. The girls from high school, Lottie, Janice. But not many people from that year in uni.
So how did you end up living here then? I don't really remember what happened with you after that year.
I met a guy named Derek in my second year, then worked for a bit at an architecture firm in Woden. Derek and I moved to Sydney after we graduated, after we got married.
It's crazy how fast time goes. Congratulations on your marriage.
Yeah, actually, Derek and I are getting a divorce.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
I didn't see you for 4
Emily.
years, and the first thing I tell you is this: I don't know. I'm sorry.
If you'd like to talk about it, just let it out.
I've been going through another series of papers this week with the lawyers. Just everyone that told me not to get married so young, so rashly. I'm embarrassed to admit I should have listened to them.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about. We all learn things in our own time.
I just feel like I've wasted the most valuable years of my life away. You know, I was looking forward to seeing you again. I wanted to be reminded of the old times.
Yeah, I wanted to come and see you too, even if it weren't for this conference. But if you need to pull aside at any time, just do. I don't want us to be driving dangerously.
No, that's okay. We've just got to keep on driving. Otherwise we'll both be late.
It was in post-war European cinema that the car's usage in cinematic conversations became linked with conceptions of modernity. In the hopes of re-establishing a sense of cultural identity and social cohesion after the rampage of the Second World War, European intellectuals and artists produced works that reflected the strange new world in which they lived in.
Lidia, ti devo dire una cosa che forse ti dispiacerà.
È proprio necessario?
Sì, è necessario.
So-called new wave movements in cinema flourished, and this gave birth to an elusive string of films that emerged from festivals like Venice, Berlin, and Cannes. Films that would come to be categorized by the term art cinema, films to which Drive My Car's lineage derives from. In Wild Strawberries, we can see how Ingmar Bergman uses the car as a dramatic stage for Isaac Borg, an aging professor on a long drive to collect a university honor. He's confronted by the wrongs of his life.
Vad har du emot mig egentligen?
Ska jag svara dig uppriktigt?
Jag frågar dig.
Du är en gammal egoist, farbror Isak. Du är fullkomligt hänsynslös. Du har aldrig lyssnat till någon annan än dig själv.
Ever since then, contemporary filmmakers have configured the car to be a modern dramatic stage in which emotions are heightened.
你整天就会看穿你老公啊！
你不可以脚踏实地一点，安分守己一点。现在什么局势，做什么生意，可以不要讲了嘛？
Used especially in conversation scenes pivotal to character progression.
Sutter, I love you.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You're wrong.
Sutter, I'm not wrong.
Don't love me.
Yes, I do.
You're wrong. You don't love me. Okay, you're just drunk and you're grateful that somebody came along and showed interest in you.
Okay, stop.
Once characters enter a car, it is as if they are theater performers on a stage, illuminated by lights.
So what's that wrong?
What you looking at me like that for?
What, man? Come on, you just drove down here?
The audience awaits the inevitable monologue, soliloquy, or argument.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to get you or anything. I mean, all I need is a married man. There's been so much water under the bridge. It's not even about you anymore. It's about that time, that moment in time that is forever gone. I don't know.
They are bound by the car's physical limitations, which intensify the drama.
Hey, wait, let's just sit with what we heard.
Are you serious?
There are only two options: remain in silence or speak.
I liked your talk today.
I liked yours too. I'm very impressed.
I can't believe you really moved to Switzerland and started all over in urban planning. You just had to copy me.
I totally had nothing figured out that first year. But anyway, should we get dinner and chat properly?
Look, I can't tonight, but let's talk after our date tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good.
So, tell me more. I heard you moved to the South Coast after uni?
I was down there for a bit, helping out with a family business. I don't know, what do you do when your life gets completely derailed like that? Everybody in Canberra looked at me as if I'd actually done it. You're one of the only people who believed me, Emily. One of the only people. I remember that month when the body was found. Everybody started dropping out of my life like flies. I cried myself to sleep for a long, long time. He was as close to me as he was to all of our other friends that I couldn't even mourn his death because all my time was spent on explaining how I had nothing to do with it.
Crying yourself to sleep every night. You know what that feels like? I'm sorry for bringing all of this up again, Kenneth.
The police knew I was innocent. I don't know why that wasn't enough.
I'm sure if you ever come into contact with any one of them now, they'd apologize. Not that means anything.
If Drive My Car is most stylistically indebted to the work of one filmmaker, that would be Abbas Kiarostami.
I don't know where we are now, and just meandering around with no goal.
The image of the car and its driver is a recurring one in the Iranian director's films.
You want to go?
I don't know. Nowhere I particularly want to go. I'm happy just driving.
Taste of Cherry takes place almost entirely in Mr. Badi's car and tracks in real time his drive around the outskirts of Tehran, searching for someone who can bury him after he commits suicide.
منظورتون رو متوجه نشدم کاملا و من توضیح بدین که براتون چیکار بکنم اگر بتونم انجام میدم به شما.
تصمیم گرفتم یه جوری خودم خلاص کنم از زندگی.
The car becomes a private realm within a public one, and the presence of the world continuously makes itself known through sounds of traffic. Stops and start to the driving.
What is this woman doing in the middle of the street? Look at her. She is crazy. Okay, let me go.
And shifting environments outside the window. The contrast between the controlled setting of the private and the overwhelming randomness of the public makes the car a space for introspective conversations within an ever-shifting world.
It seems to me that the human race is the only species to have forgotten that the whole purpose of life, the whole meaning of existence is to have fun, to have pleasure.
Just like how the inside and outside of the car form a single cinematic environment, the internal emotional state of the character is fused with the external act of driving.
大丈夫だよ。心配しなくたって。ね。なるようになるよ。ね。ما دیدی. نمیخوای این ستاره ها را ببینی.
Put simply, the car creates a private space within public, a space that is constantly moving characters from one place to the next on their emotional journey, edging them closer to catharsis, to their internal destination.
The city is so noisy. Before we go get dinner, can we just drive somewhere and think for a while?
That'd be good. I think I know a place. Do you feel like we ever really know someone? I thought Derek was the love of my life. And then catching him cheating on me with my sister. My own sister. I can't even describe the emotions I feel.
Bitterness?
Maybe. Bitterness.
Like everything you put your faith in has betrayed you. Feeling of the world crashing down around you.
Exactly. Can I ask you something about that year after David's body was found?
Go ahead.
That afternoon when everyone was yelling at you, you ran off, and I didn't see you again until that night. Where did you go?
Nowhere. I just kept on driving. I was angry, so I just kept on driving and didn't stop.
Dinner?